In an earlier video, we explored the history and the design of the classic police box. It is, of course, very difficult to talk about the police box without reference to the classic British science fiction television series Doctor Who, which is responsible for lending distinction to what is, in reality, merely an artifact of street history, here for nearly half a century, but then gone and forgotten. It is because of Doctor Who that this artifact is so recognisable, but the prop we see on our television screens is not a wholly accurate depiction of the Metropolitan police box, and so in this video we will spot the differences. To do this, we will take the police box shell used by William Hartnell's first Doctor in 1963, the first Tardis prop. As it was designed and built at a time when police boxes were still common, we can expect this prop to be the closest in appearance to the original Mark II police box on which the Tardis is based. You may not know this, but the Doctor Who prop has been altered and replaced many times over the decades the BBC science fiction series has been on the air, and each prop is subtly, and not so subtly, different. And it could well be the case that we will explore the history of those props in a future video, but for now we will stick with the first Tardis. Here we see the Mark II police box standing alongside the Tardis of the first Doctor. It is immediately apparent the Tardis is smaller. The roof of the Tardis has fewer steps and is not as stacked as the original police box, and this is something all the Tardis props have in common. The Tardis here has a broad forehead between the lintel signs and the roof. This first Tardis is the only Tardis prop to have this feature. Later on, when the roof was shortened, this forehead was cut down. The original police box does not have so broad a forehead. Another feature unique to the first Tardis prop concerns the four corner posts. The corner posts all reach the roof, whilst on a real police box they stop just shy of the roof. All the other Tardis props have corner posts similar to the real thing, even the Yardley box of Tom Baker's fourth Doctor, although you have to look closely. The doors on real police boxes open outward, or we should say the door singular, as a police box has only one door and a telephone hatch. The Tardis has two doors, and they both open inwards. The lamp atop the police box flashes red, whilst the lamp of the Tardis flashes white. This could be a legacy of the black and white days of 1960s television, where the colour difference would not have been so noticeable. Another likely legacy of those monochrome days is the lintel sign background colour. Although there is some debate about it, the consensus is that the background colour is somewhat blue, whilst on this Tardis prop it is black. Another difference lies with the window panes. The upper panes of the police box are clear, and the lower panes are hammered or frosted glass, except for the middle pane, which is coloured blue. The TARDIS prop does not have this arrangement. In fact, none of the TARDIS props have ever had this arrangement. Although panes of hammered glass do appear, they tend to travel all over the place. And finally, the interior of the real police box is somewhat different to that of the First Doctor's TARDIS. Inside a police box, you get a little over 3 feet by 3 feet of floor space, a desk, a radiator, and a stool. The interior of the TARDIS, however, is a little bit larger. Infinite, as Matt Smith's 11th Doctor once said, although he was probably exaggerating. After all, in an earlier episode, he needed to use Amy and Rory's kitchen as a laboratory. Surely if the TARDIS interior is infinite, you would have space for at least one on-board laboratory?